It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
So, last we left off, Bell's Hells had been hot on the trail of Armand Treshi after uncovering many of the misdeeds he had been attempting within the city of Drusar. With their alliance with Lord Eshtaros, they had helped place a platinum band that had been enchanted upon his ring at a bell, with the help of their Arashari friend, not Arashari, Arashari friend there, but Elemental one. My brain totally... Wow.
What was his name?
Dorian. It'll be easier to just say his name, Dorian. Putting this ring upon Armand to keep tracking his whereabouts in the city, you left northward and returned a bit later to discover that he had left. He had fled the city southeast. You agreed to help Eshtaros in hunting him down, taking the orb that was affixed to the enchantment on this ring. To when you were within proximity, you would know the direction he knew from you. You went ahead and took upon the skyship, known as the Silver Sun, and read southeast across the skies of the Hellcatch Valley towards the city of Bassuras. Upon coming to the outskirts of Bassuras, the skyship leaves you behind within a day's journey, should you require it to return and pick you up. Here you made contact with one of the many crawler gangs that run the region surrounding the city. You began to mark continuous shapes and colors of tattoo-based designs that marked the Gajakandas, the ones that kind of protect the main guardian laws of the city. Upon walking into the center, you found yourself to the caravanserai, the Raha Den, purchased a night's rest, and then emerged to seek out the directional blip of Armand's tracking signal in the orb that you carry. Along the way, you heard a scuffle in a nearby alleyway and saw this individual Dusk being harried by a number of ne'er-do-wells, cutthroats that were attempting to take what was theirs. You then stepped into this alleyway and came to their aid, beating down these individuals and leaving them behind as you made your first encounter and introduction with this character Dusk. Now, after having a brief bit of conversation, you decided to continue to pursue the directional draw of this arcane blip. And along the way, it seems, in the southern direction of the city of Bassuras, there lay a particular tavern referred to as a Taste of Tal'Dorei that seemed to reside at least in the similar space of the Reach.
He might be heading to the same place for all we know.
I mean, it sounds like a very esteemed location.
No better joint in the entirety of Bassuras.
I feel like this is one of those things you just have to see.
Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right. No more about this. You'll all see it for yourselves.
Let's go, yeah.
All right, as long as, I don't want to put a damper on anyone's good time. I just would hate to have traveled all this way only for Treshi to get away because we're having a good time at a theme restaurant. You know what I mean?
The restaurant's on the south side of town, and Treshi is. We'll see if the direction changes at all once we're in really close proximity.
You know what?
So this is more of a scouting mission.
If this is the place where everybody does know your name, maybe we can get some recon and intel about Treshi. Maybe someone there knows his name.
Pressing down the streets, the bustling midday road of Bassuras presents itself to you. All manner of interesting figures walking past. You can see cobbled together armor pieces and bits of jagged metal placed in a defensive way to go ahead and signal to you at immediate glance to do not touch and do not engage. What does catch your attention within a short jaunt further is your first sight of an automaton here amongst the roadways. You see one person walking by, and behind them an 8-foot-tall, hulking-looking humanoid figure.
I'd love to just run up to the automaton and just say, "Smile a day to you."
It just doesn't acknowledge you.
Maybe he's shy.
Yeah. Where are you headed?
I lean down. I grab a rock and I chunk it.
Oh.
Small.
No, don't stop.
Tink. It stops, and you watch as the person who's walking ahead of it turns around a bit and gives you this kind of glaring eye, or at least the direction of where you were. She keeps on walking forward.
Doesn't have those people skills that you do.
Oh, doesn't.
A short walk later, you see one massive, out-of-place building. Built in a classic Tal'Dorei style, almost like Tudor type construct. You can see the roofs are painted far more vibrantly brown than any natural wood should be. And the front double doors, and it is like a hinged double door that enters the front. You can just barely see from the interior a faint bit of flickering lantern light.
Whatever sense of irony any of you may still hold, abandon it now. It will serve you not inside.
Welcome to a Taste of Tal'Dorei!
You step inside, and as the doors swing open behind you, immediately the smells catch you. The smells are a unique mingling of all sorts of baked breads and sweets, a mixture of cooked meats and rolled lettuce-based kind of meat-packed dishes. You can see there is a bit of almost an incense brazier on the opposite end that is burning and filling this kind of gentle smoke, and it's a bunch of things that individually are good smells, but when they mix together, it creates this almost Sephora-like blast from all different directions.
I hate it.
As soon as you step through,
Hate it in there.
there are a smattering of tables of all different of makes and designs, all round, but you can see from different carpenters, there is not a single thread of presentation to these tables. But you do see 3 servers are racing around and conversing merrily with the individuals, one of which you see is a young woman dressed in fine armor and like red silks, almost like a long robe with gold. You watch as she approaches and serves a dish to a couple of customers and says, "And that is how Tal'Dorei greets the greats of the world," and steps back and continues back into the far chamber to retrieve another meal, while somebody else, you could see this man with a big, bushy, dark beard, his like sun-weathered skin, wearing a large kind of haphazardly made bronze crown, like a king's crown on his head, as he wields a large sword that he kind of drags behind him that you can tell is more for show than not. Steps to another table and goes, "And what, pray tell, do you wish to ask of King Durnesque?"
No way. No.
By that I mean, what would you like to drink? The third server comes through, a tall Goliath figure, wearing deep blues and whites. "Ha! And who disturbs the realm of Erevan, the Rhyme Lord?"
Oh no!
"Oh, yes!
Oh, we surrender!
Then you shall surrender into my realm by the great mirror of Everwatching." How many's in your party?
There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're 8 now.
8.
8.
Is that 2?
Erevan requires 2 more chairs! And grabs 2 more chairs and drags them behind over to a table. Sets them up.
Or
Now.
are these historical figures?
It's to a point.
Do they actually have those kinds of fruity drinks?
I do wish to order of the Tal'Dorei Great Rum Extravaganza.
That's the one!
Do you all drink that?
My lord, we do humbly request your cocktail menu as quickly as possible. Thank you, my liege.
Ah, well-mannered this one. He might survive my frozen death still.
No.
Scary!
Ooh. Here, have a seat.
Is that what they sounded
ring.
like in Whitestone? Wow.
I mean, people don't go around with such, enthusiasm on a day-to-day basis, of course. But I feel like, he's playing it up a little bit for the environment.
But if
Erevan demands you decide on what you have to drink before you are frozen for all eternity.
Who are you and what have you done?
I am Erebon, the Rhyme Lord.
Rhyme Lord. Dear.
I am a great elemental deity that broke forth from the realm of ice and froze all of Tal'Dorei for many years before I was
This is true?
sundered and sent back to my realm. But there I wait, plotting to bring you the finest in service here at A Taste of Tal'Dorei.
Is this the kind of place where they cook the food at the table, or is that not this?
I think if you get like some of the platters and things that they'll.
If you look on there are stars next to the ones on the menu that have a presentation.
Presentation.
I'm just
They're a
grabbing
little more
the
pricey,
cocktail menu.
but they're worth it. Trust me.
We should do it. I hope that you'll all allow me to treat you for this one. I really do appreciate you all coming to my aid.
That's very kind of you. And this is nice because it gives us an opportunity to you don't seem like you're in a hurry or anything, but you're looking for family?
Well, it's kind of. I'm looking for people that help me.
Helped you
How?
Well, through the Feywild.
through the Feywild? Like
They helped.
in the Feywild?
Mhm.
Or to get here?
Both. They, they show me around and then they help me find a way back here. I don't know if I made the right decision leaving or not, but, they were very kind to me.
Who are they?
I have, and I pull out, I have a little locket. And I open up and there's a picture.
There are two figures. While they're kind of like a gently drawn painted portrait, both of them are unfamiliar to all of you except for you.
Lord.
There is two familiar portraits of the Calloway parents that birthed you.
The Calloway parents? Her parents.
Oh. How do you know them? From the Feywild. Do you know them?
Yes. Yes, those are my parents.
What?
Wait, I don't understand. What do you mean you saw them in the Feywild?
Yeah! They helped me get back to this other side. It's really fucking scary over there.
Oh.
There's all sorts of politics and like lights everywhere. So this really lovely couple took me under their wing and showed me around and showed me how to get back. But I guess the portals are just unpredictable.
Oh, shit.
They're your parents?
Yes. May I see that a little closer?
These particular portraits are copies of portraits that you recalled at a young age. So these are them in their prime.
Well, this is Mama Birdie, and this is Papa Ollie.
Birdie and Ollie.
And they're very wonderful, but I haven't seen them in a very, very long time.
How long?
Probably about, maybe like 90 years. Did they look like this?
Yeah, a little older.
Did you do this wonderful drawing, or did they give it to you?
I got it from them.
How long were you in the Feywild? Do you know?
I feel like I have lived 1,000 different lifetimes in there. Or maybe just one long one.
It's kind of how time works, I guess, where we're from.
A plate hits the center of the table, and you can see a cluster of small, like, dough balls as Erevan takes a deep breath and just breathes a gout of flame that sprays across and kind of singes the exterior of it. Now enjoy the conclave, Thordax, fire peppers,
Getting in on one of those.
and your breezers. Puts the drinks out there.
Oh, it's blended.
The barkeep behind you can see is an orcish gentleman stands up at the top and goes, "Hearken to all friends here! It looks like a great conflict comes to the taste of Tal'Dorei. A historical moment. The spotlight that kicks in around the nude day performance they're doing now, the melodrama at noon.
You've seen this before?
Oh yeah, they have not changed the script one iota. I almost kind of missed this.
Does it get better or worse with the rewatch?
Oh, so much worse and so much better at the same time.
I love the theater.
How far off from the time frame of Winter's Crest are we at this point?
Oh, you are in Cyan Star the 14th, so you're the equivalent of like October. You're a few months away from even that even being a thing.
I kind of want to hear more about this parent connection.
Yes, restaurant's very distracting.
Distracted, sorry.
It's incredible. I really just love it.
These poppers are going to run right through us, too.
Oh, no.
Do you remember them at all?
A little bit. I was very young when they left, and they left me with my grandmother to keep me safe, but they left because they had to do something very important. I don't know what it was, but I've been looking for them. So this feels like something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know that you all have your business to take care of, but I mean, maybe on the way, we can help each other find them.
Well, speaking of the business that we are on, to get you up to speed a little bit, the man we are chasing had some dubious dealings with entities from the Fey realm.
That's true.
That's right.
Those gentlemen who were chasing you, Dusk, they were bad, right?
I assume so. Around here, everybody's just kind of desperate, So the thing is they might be bad and that they were trying to take my stuff, but I don't know. I might have done worse things to get by and to survive in this area. I don't know.
They are not wrong.
I can't believe I didn't see it. You look so much like them.
I still didn't see it.
This is so bizarre. That we happened to...
Maybe they were looking for you. Maybe that's why they're in this area. I've been asking around. I've been here for a couple weeks.
Wait, what makes you think that they're here?
Because that's where we got dumped out together. We got separated, but I assume that it was like in the same general area.
But how do you know the portal didn't send them out somewhere in Tal'Dorei?
Send people a lot of places in a lot of ways. They are not reliable.
They could be here.
It's the closest thing, and the fact that I just ran into you.
What are the odds? This just feels serendipitous.
What were they, if you're not sure what they were looking for, what were they up to, or interested in?
I mean, they said they were really important in the court.
Oh, yes. Very, very, very important.
In the court?
We're very, yes.
Like
the fate.
Judicial court?
No, the Sealy court. My family is pretty, kind of a big deal.
Your princess?
A lot of politics.
Well, I don't know
I don't like
if
it.
I would be a princess necessarily.
Wait, you're a princess?
No. I mean, my parents would call me that.
Are you Princess Fearne?
I certainly could be. You can call me that, for sure.
I mean, I didn't know they were like royalty. Like, I just know that they're...
Now I feel bad for being
Well, I
fucking
mean-
shitty to Dorian.
You know, they're we don't necessarily
She's been
have
doing this
like
all this time.
like a hierarchy, like king or queen.
No,
but
not
it's more like-
necessarily that. It's just we're just very well known. We're just like a very well known family.
This feels so complicated.
Why would they leave the Fey realm if they're so important?
They had to leave. That's why they had to leave me with my grandmother, because they had something very, very, very important to do.
I don't want to speak for Imogen or volunteer, you know, in any way, but Imogen is very gifted, very capable at kind of peering into one's minds and thoughts.
I mean, I'm no slouch either, but
Yeah, I can look into your mind if you would want something like that. But there's no guarantee. You know, we've run into issues before. It could be complicated.
Does anybody else hear that?
She's saying something in your head.
When she goes quiet like that, it's just you two.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can tell that she's talking to somebody because her eyes cross.
Just that face.
All right, no.
That's canonically what
No.
happens.
You do not have a flesh tongue and I do not cross my eyes, all right?
Oh, I beg to do.
No.
I take a knife like.
Had a flesh tongue.
Oh my god.
Fixed.
I have this ability, Fearne. I could potentially try to reach out and make a connection with them personally. And now that I've seen that locket, I know what they look like. I'm familiar with their names. I might be able to sort of find them. I will close my eyes and I'm going to try to reach out to Birdie.
Okay.
God.
Birdie, I'm here with Fearne and Dusk. They're both looking for you. We're in Bassuras. Are you close? We want to find you. Desperately.
There's a long pause. And then, responding, a voice goes, I'm sorry, out of personal care and mistrust and safety, who am I speaking with?
Is there something I can tell them so that they know that I'm...
You would know, Fearne?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Okay, say that, Fearne's window at Grandma's, was the big round window.
Okay.
Trying to think of what else. They remember my bird, Dr. Nesbit.
All right, let me...
Dust, do you have anything you want to tell her?
The glade. The glade.
Okay. This is Imogen Tamalt. I'm their friend. Fearne's been reminding me of her round window at Grandma's house and her bird, Dr. Nesbit, while Dusk has been mentioning the glade.
Immediately the voice responds, oh my goodness. Our Fearne! Our Fearne! Did you hear that? You said Bassuras. We're a few days out from our next trek. We'll meet at Joe's.
They were so happy. She was so happy to hear.
She was?
Yeah. And I think she was trying to call for your dad, I think. She said they're a few days out, but they wanted to meet here at Joe's. Does that sound familiar?
Does it sound familiar?
Your friend was really right. You're amazing. It's incredible.
Well, we gotta find out where Joe's is, right?
Yeah, we should ask around. Maybe our waiter knows about...
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna run over to the bartender.
I will take off the paper crown.
In here is fine. No, in here is fine.
The paper crown.
This is. It suits you.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hi, do you know of a place here called Joe's?
Nothing rings a bell to me. Hold on. Dunno? Do you know of a Joe's?
Dunno.
And the waitress dressed as Zan Tal'Dorei comes around the corner and goes, Joe's, you mean like, Like over in the ends, Joes? Imahara Joes?
Maybe? What is that?
He's one of them. He's one of them tinkerer types. Works with a lot of the crawler gangs.
Okay.
This is really promising.
Oh, this is really promising. The music box that you have hanging from the ceiling,
Yes?
is that for sale?
No.
Why not?
Well, most of the decor here was carefully imported from Tal'Dorei. These are all genuine relics from across the seas of the Osmit. Everything you see here has been acquired and carefully maintained as part of our historical collection, so we could bring to you nothing but the most authentic Tal'Dorei experience.
Well, may I propose a trade? I happen to have items from Tal'Dorei. I pull out an old teacup that is chipped, but it has a portrait of a woman, and underneath it reads the Lady of Whitestone. This is... I purchased this for a very high amount from... I've never been there, but this is from a... It was from there.
I have quite a discerning eye for relics.
Well, then you would know.
This is authentic.
It is.
How did you come upon such a thing?
I happen to know someone who somebody gave it to me. It was a gift because it was for my birthday.
Well, the fact that you are willing to part with this for such a establishment as this means that you respect the arts and wish to support them.
This is happening.
I think that music box has been towards the end of its life, perhaps, and I've been looking to trade it out. I'll accept your bargain. Your music box.
And he unwraps the rope from it and hands it to you.
You have a genuine piece of a taste of Tal'Dorei.
What are you?
What are you gonna do with it?
How did that happen?
Well, I have a plan. I have a plan.
A plan?
Yes, I have a plan for it. Chetney,
Yes?
do you do engraving?
Of course.
Could I have you write to Mama Birdie and Papa Ollie on it?
I mean, yes, just in common, plain font. Would you like more calligraphy and like filigree?
Yes.
Clearly.
Wait, is that longer? Is that an extra charge?
Not for you.
Go nuts. This
Oh
is
my
your
God.
artistic expression. Do whatever you want.
Comic Sans is an odd choice.
It's just a flurry. It's just a flurry.
At which point your final round of Ashari Breezers arrives to the table.
Discerning customers! You will make fine victims to the Rhyme Lord when I freeze your corpses and leave them in eternal winter. Thank you. You guys have been great today, by the way.
It's going to be a really slow afternoon, and you've really kind of picked it up, so.
It's nothing like the gratitude of a theater major.
Freshcockers.
Oh,
I was wondering if you would maybe just accompany me to for a quick stroll of the gift shop.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you for
Unless
asking.
you're still,
me. No, let's go.
Okay.
What are you looking for specifically?
I just I really more just wanted an excuse to chat with you in private.
Oh. Did I do something wrong?
No, not at all. So we're kind of walking along. Laudna's just kind of like patting the t-shirts and the prop swords as we go, just kind of aimlessly poking. You see, Imogen and I, I had a little bit of we're kind of in a rough spot.
Oh.
Oh, okay. You know how I have the woman, Delilah, who just kind of like talks in my head? And you know how have you noticed Imogen like acting a little intense or on edge?
Of course. Well, she's been turned into different colors and she lost her hair and she has horrible nightmares.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That rock that she had, do you,
I think I saw her holding one, yes.
I thought maybe I could discern something about it. Maybe I could sense a bit more of its origins and its purpose. And next thing you know, my grip locked onto it. I couldn't open my fist and I lost control of my body and I felt the searing heat going through my arm and then it was over and I looked down and the rock had shattered and I could hear more like feel Delilah in my mind, like she was more powerful or satisfied and I don't know what to do.
First of all, you've already done the first step, which is just talking about it and getting it out there, right?
Okay, yes.
At some point, you'll probably need to have this conversation directly with her when she's ready to hear it.
When she's on her terms.
But I have a question for you. You said you reached out and it was an impulse to squeeze it, an impulse to break it, fueled by some sort of voice in your head. Are you jealous of Imogen in any way?
No, it's not like that. The only thing I want for Imogen is the same thing that I've always wanted for her, which is to have a life and a youth and to go out and to see the world free of any type of burden like I had to.
I'm so sorry that you're going through this, and I would love to sort of facilitate a meeting of the minds if you'll be up for it, and maybe I could talk to her and tell her how stressed out you are. And oh boy, you just pulled out a clump of hair there. If with your permission, I could try to arrange a neutral space, a safe space where you both could talk.
Okay. Well, like you said, I want this to all be on her terms. So, what should I do in the meantime? What if she never comes around?
She
doesn't want to be friends again? What if it's ruined?
You know what I would say? Maybe just work on yourself right now.
Which one of these plastic swords do you think she'd want? Wooden swords. I don't know if they have plastic.
Doesn't strike me as a.
What about this oven
replica
mitt?
Sword? An oven mitt. Everyone can use that. It says TOT on it.
What do you think that means?
Taste of Tal'Dorei.
That's fantastic. That's great. I think she'll appreciate this.
But
I'll get her this pencil too.
Sure, but you can't buy her happiness and you can't buy her forgiveness. But do it anyway, because it can't hurt.
All right.
I'm gonna catch Imogen's eye across the table. You seem a little discouraged.
Well, there's, or
Oh, no, I'm good, thanks.
can I be honest? This is so dumb. Lawden and I had sort of a bit of a falling out.
A couple of days ago? Because that's how long you've seemed...
She did something that broke my trust. And, it's weird because the longer it goes after, it feels like almost it was a good thing that she did, but I can't tell her that yet because I don't know. And then as soon as we get here, Dusk shows up and all of a sudden, like, I'm hurting and Lawden is just living it up with this new person, smiling and laughing like she doesn't even care that we had a fight. So, sorry, that was loud in your head and I apologize.
It's cool. It's cool.
And now I'm bald, but that's fine. I like it and stuff. So, yeah, I guess I'm a little distraught or...
On that, I mean, we figured out the blue thing. I'm sure we'll figure out the head thing. You have really fabulous cheekbones, so you're selling it. But I'm sure we'll fix it. I see you get down on yourself. And I think maybe it's just coloring your thinking a little bit. I mean, when you have a falling out with a friend, I don't know. I think Bree threw it. That dead lady's got a lot of love in her heart.
I know. She's got a really good heart.
The Rhyme Lord. He has to deal with the coming lunch rush, so we need you to leave.
Got it. I got you. I was in the gift shop, and I saw this pot holder and thought of you. It's a tot on it.
A tot holder?
It's a tot. Yes. And this pencil. It's purple like your once hair.
Orem bolts to the gift shop and buys 2 toy swords.
Okay, you got it.
I bring back Imogen a t-shirt that says White Stone is for lovers.
Wow.
That's
Gets darker and darker.
Always. Why did I open myself to this? So where are we off to now?
We're going to follow the blip.
Follow the ball.
Okay. Finishing your brief excursion to the wondrous singular tavern known as the Taste of Tal'Dorei, you step back out into now the hot midday air of the Hellcatch Valley. Looking in the direction of where that blip is coming from, you see what is called the Bank of Renewal. Open market. Enter and purchase all sorts of various presentational banners. And looking past them, there is kind of a heavy wooded fence line that marks the inside of what is a bustling marketplace.
Looks like a swap meet.
Yeah, it's like a large flea market.
I think it's small enough that if we split up, if someone just makes some noise, we should be able to hear everybody, right?
Show Dusk what Treshi looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I can't really create images.
I can.
I can't. He can.
Oh. Little phase of Armand.
So you can see kind of the long dark hair, deeply tanned skin, well kept kind of facial hair. As you're walking through the bazaar, you can see like the marker is shifting pretty quickly, which means you're getting fairly close.
Okay, well, we'll
so we
continue kind of
that
distantly
direction.
following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll keep kind of will ping the group's heads as we go on.
Tense as you all kind of splinter off into your groups, independently, but still following the positioning you, Laudna, alongside Dusk, guide the pathway, watching it as it shifts and turns to the left.
Be discreet.
Yeah. Glancing down, it looks like it begins to move rapidly enough that you notice it's guiding you towards a large tent, like a multi interior suspended tent of 3 different points that kind of cascades outward on each side. And there is a large drapery that kind of blocks the interior. Now, as I can see, the River of Renewal is the title to it.
Can I grab that?
Yeah. I pass it off to Ashton.
Tracking the person.
I'm gonna start just trying to make my way to the back of the tent to see if it's still pointing at the tent.
It shifts pointing towards the inside of the tent.
So it's
Pretty
definitely
directly.
Me and Chet are gonna walk around the back.
Yep.
And I'm gonna just throw up a locate object
So
and try to find.
Put a ring
Man, if it's just
on this.
What did we put on?
Ring.
The ring. Thank you.
Tracking the
Oh.
ring.
Shit.
Yeah,
You get-
that's what I'm.
Son of a bitch.
You get the sense that indeed this ring that you've been following is somewhere inside that tent.
Okay. And I walk on in.
Before Dusk goes in, I'm gonna make eye contact with her. Tell me if anything goes weird. With your mind powers.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of weird, right? Should Oh, okay. Right.
Okay. You both kind of square off to the back portion. You can see there is a thin slit to the back that kind of leads into the interior. There are what looks to be cases of gemstones that have been placed upon velvet and put under these like mobile pieces of glass that are locked into place. This looks to be a shop of some kind. And as you walk in, you can see there's a younger woman to the back and another man, a little bit older, similar features. Here's his voice. Welcome. How may we be of service to you?
Oh, I'm in the market for some jewelry.
Of course. Happy to help. Yes. What are you looking for?
What does the ring look like?
I will describe it in detail.
A relatively simple platinum band with some lines and scrolling on it. It's detailed enough to remain masculine, but in doing so is also kind of plain. You watch as he pulls out a little box and opens it up and begins to put out handfuls onto this pillow, and there are probably 4 dozen rings of all different kinds. I mean, there's some gold and some that are encrusted, but there's 6 that are all just simple platinum bands of different widths and different designs.
Do you have anything sort of chonky, like dwarven made?
Well, if you're looking for recently, there is also this one.
And pulls up this kind of thicker looking, relatively simple platinum band with some lines scrawled into it. Looks very similar to the one that you were given and descriptive enough to your mind.
Yeah, this one's, when did this one come in?
Oh, this came in about a week ago, I think. Is that right, Umar?
Yes, about a week ago.
Okay. All right. You should tell me about who gave you this ring.
Oh.
Suggestion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff.
There we go.
Go.
Come on.
Jedi mind trick.
His eyes go slack for a second and his jaw kind of opens ever so faintly, like for a brief moment his brain just goes blank. And the smile curls up once more.
Yes, it is a gentleman we see and hear from time to time named Armand Treshi. He's quite involved with one of the crawler gangs of the city. Probably, if I recall, based on his companions, where he is now.
Smile.
Do you get all that?
Yeah, which gang?
Oh, which gang would that be?
The Paragon's call.
Ooh.
They are
Right.
the seat of disdain. Is the fortress that they call.
Seat of disdain.
All right. Well, I would hate to deprive somebody of such a treasure, so I'll leave it for now. But I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna browse around and then come back. Thank you.
You can see the open energy seems to withdraw slightly, and the glance of window shoppers. Come again.
Hey, didn't Paragon's call have some interest in you?
I mean, technically, yeah. Although that was a while ago and very far away.
You didn't have a lot of dealings with the call?
No, really not.
In fact, you avoided most of the crawler gangs for the time you were here. You just know where it is, and you know that is the base of operations for the Paragon's call. And it's when say fortress, it's not like a castle.
No.
It's a well-defended 3-story stone building with defensible battlements in case there's any recurring, as history has proven, scuffles with other crawler gangs and other individuals that are seeking entry.
How do the crawler gangs work? Do they have certain territories within the city, or is it just?
I mean, in theory, in practice, it's more like there's kind of a hierarchy less than territories, if that makes sense. And I don't really know who's where these days, but the All Minds Burn are just kind of running around. Gaja Kandas are kind of in charge. Fists of the Ruiner are just whatever the fuck they want to be at any moment. And then the Paragon's call, I don't know, the last time I was here, they were kind of large and intense. I don't know how they're doing these days.
Yeah, and it caught your attention to see the Paragon's call being presented in Drusar as a legitimate defense force,
Yeah.
knowing where they came from, and that caught you a little odd.
Yeah, they were not exactly what you would consider to be a legitimate group of people last time I was here. That was... I'm surprised to see them leave the city, let alone have a reputation. That's weird.
How long ago were you here?
Oh man, it was double digits at least. It was a very, very long time ago.
You catch an interesting visual, fresh cut grass, of one individual who is currently moving forward on a wagon with all sorts of wares in the back of it, stacked up. And as opposed to a horse or an oxen or some of the beast of burden, there is an odd, almost beetle-like automaton with 8 legs, almost more arachnid-like, that has 3 different unmatching pairs of legs.
I'll say hi and just see if they have communication skills.
Okay.
Hello there. Hi. Hi.
Smiley day to you?
Hello.
The person at the back of the cart kind of smiley day.
Oh, okay.
It's so curious how they're so different.
I agree.
Do they not have souls?
No, neither do I.
I
This is a question of debate in the group.
don't know if I agree with that.
Well, I'm like them.
Well,
You're like
No,
you.
you're not like them.
Well, I'm just
FCG.
a bit more sophisticated in my design.
You have thoughts. I hear them.
I have a complicated set of inputs and outputs that have been designed into me.
I think we can agree that you're a rarity.
FCG, have you ever thought maybe you're like me? You were once alive,
Ooh.
and now you're in a puppet.
Whoa.
Whoa.
If I had a mind, it would be blown right now. What? That could be true. What if I'm a shell, a husk of an old person or something?
Oh, but now you're you. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
I feel like it probably doesn't matter so much about what the shell is like, so much as what's in wherever.
Poke.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What?
have a heart.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
Aren't you curious about you? You're all forgetful about yourself as well.
No, I've got you guys, and I've got my stuff, and I have a couple of quests on the docket.
Two, more than one.
Yeah,
Well, like
2.
the one with us and then
Yeah.
the one for yourself.
If there were 3, it'd be a few.
So I feel like it doesn't really matter as much all the time. I let my past inform who I am, but I don't kind of get too hung up about it.
It's very mature and healthy of you. I must admit that I don't share that confidence. I would really like to know what I am and where I came from.
You do see the midday burning kind of plumes of black smoke that burn from the rooftop burn piles that connotate the top of the 3-tiered stone fortress that is the seat of disdain. You can see there are a few watching or lookout platforms that emerge, especially on the very top. There are 4 tall kind of curved spires that raise upward, made out of the same kind of cobbled metal, kind of iron and steel combination to create these kind of twisting horns almost that emerge from the top. There are 3 figures up there that are just kind of standing stationary. One of them occasionally kind of walks past and checks.
I mean, I could certainly, go in as a little rat or a spider just to investigate.
That makes sense.
And the rest of us just kind of sit tight and, do a stakeout.
Yeah, I do kind of want to walk the perimeter, though, and see, if there's other doorways that he might be coming in and out of. I mean, there might be underground tunnels for all we know.
Sure.
See if people come in and out of the building, how often, what it looks like at night.
So there are 2 entrances in and out that are viable from a larger presentory standpoint. And they're both about 15 to 20 feet wide, you guess, at this glance. You do also see the patrols on the top occasionally switch out. Or at least you see like one person leave and another person come up and take their place.
So maybe you could be like, if she was going to sneak off on her own, which she is not going to do. But maybe you could be like
If you suggest it,
like
she's
an
going to do it.
insect instead.
I mean, I could be a cat. I could be a capybara. I could be I could be a spider. But I
Like,
feel
what
like
about like a Quokka or something?
I could be a Quokka for sure.
You know,
We're
maybe that
very
would charm them. Maybe
Yeah,
that
we're
would charm
very
them.
charm them.
It's unique.
You know? I fucking love Quokkas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all Google
That's
that.
got big.
That's like the perfect.
That's got big Fearne energy.
I'm gonna run over to them, and I am now a
Quokka?
So you're gonna be a Quokka?
real round butt, just real round.
Roundest of butts.
be so
Oh,
Oh my god.
I forgot everything we were talking about.
You're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my god.
Scrooge.
This is all we're doing today. You must never change back.
Make the face again. Make the quote face again.
Dusk.exe has stopped working. You go ahead and run on up to the front gates.
Thank God.
As you are sitting there, round, fuzzy butt, large smile at the base of the gate. What do you do, Fearne?
I'm gonna try to just start. I'm looking around and just try to start scraping and burrowing where there's like where I see the biggest separation in the gate.
The gate is about that thick, and you dug underneath the majority of it, and your head just kind of pokes out this way, but your midsection is just kind of stuck, and you guys can see these little legs kind of like
Fearne,
picking.
I am going to use my telekinetic ability and start digging the dirt out from around her and try to move the dirt.
Okay. Starting to wiggle a little more.
So close.
I got there. One of the guards patrolling kind of nearby doesn't notice you.
Is it always like this?
Pretty much.
You come out the other side, and you're now inside the courtyard.
All right, well,
Okay.
you're cute and noticeable, so, move fast.
Okay, I'm gonna skitter to where I think the entrance of the building is.
Okay, yeah, you can definitively see an entryway that leads into the fortress. It is out in the open across the courtyard. There are, stacks of supplies and things along the way that you can dart to as you want to go. Right as you're about to get to the shade behind them, you feel a hand grab you from the torso and lift you up, and a voice go, "Oh goodness, what's this?" And as your eyes focus a bit, you can see what looks to be a tough-looking woman warrior, shoulders exposed with scars, muscular, has this like wide, bright white toothy grin, and she kind of picks it up and goes, "Oh my goodness, you're so cute. Who are you?"
I start shivering.
Oh.
"Oh my god, I don't even know what you are, but you're adorable. Oh my god. My cunts! My cunts!"
My
cunts?
cunts?
My God.
I heard my cunt.
Staging my cunt.
Because my cunt.
All NPCs are now named David. From here on out. Correct.
We can't have nice things.
We cannot.
We just
First name, Mike. My name,
Mike Hunts, Harry Butts, get over here.
The spelling in my head was different. But let's just say, my guns has a rough time with his title.
Been there.
You hear Snickers nearby, and he goes, "Just call me Mick." Have you seen something like this? It's like,
That's the worst one.
what the heck is that? It's a problem with making shit up on the spot. Sometimes it's not a winner.
Hey, you talk for 20,000 hours.
Somewhere the spirit of Provence like, "Ha!"
He's not ring.
He did okay for himself.
It's normal where I come from.
Comes up and he's like, "Oh, what is this? This is adorable. Oh my, how is this alive here? Did it escape? Was it like some sort of like exotic animal that escaped? I don't know, but it's mine now. I found it. Come with me, Fuzzbottom." And kind of puts you under the arm and kind of like cradles you like a baby and begins to carry you towards the fortress.
I'll just nuzzle into her.
The swishing of
Yes.
Sights around you, and blue sky suddenly goes to darkness as you're brought within the interior of the fortress.
Is everything all right?
Yes. Someone has now taken me as their pet.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm inside.
Ooh, that's wonderful.
You are carried from hallway to a left turn, down another hallway, down a set of stairs, down another hallway, another left turn.
So I'm gonna memorize this.
Okay, so you're trying to keep this all in mind as you go.
Oh, Dusk! Hello! All right, so we kind of see how this plays out. Let's keep watching the front. Worst case scenario, maybe we'll cause a ruckus.
She's horrified.
Sorry that my messages aren't as peaceful as Imogen's. No.
I like them. Okay, all right.
You are brought to a simple barracks chamber. The woman soldier who brought you in sets you down and goes, I've got to get back to my my post, but don't go anywhere. And we're gonna cuddle up tonight. Oh, if you're gonna poop anywhere, poop on his bed.
I'll just curl up in a little ball.
Okay. Oh my God! Ah! Shh. And then leaves the room and closes the door behind you. You hear,
Oh, shit. I'll take a nap. Real tired.
glancing around the interior of the chamber, the only egress is the singular wooden door.
Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna start scraping and crying.
Keep scraping and keep scraping and keep scraping and keep scraping. About 2 minutes pass. 3 minutes pass. 4 minutes pass.
Done now, right?
And right about then, you hear, and the door opens, and you see a large looming figure there with a sword out going like, "What the fuck?" Oh. What is this? What is this, little one? And reaches over and grabs like the scuff between the shoulders and kind of picks you up a bit and lifts you in front. And you can see now this rough-looking gentleman in his 30s. He has like sunburnt patches of skin, like fresh peeling that you can see in places. Oh, you're just adorable. Oh, you might now. Closes the door, looks around and kind of tucks you into his chest, and walks a little further down the hallway, heads right down another
Peeking
hall.
out, seeing if I can see anything else new.
There is actually an open, not even a doorway, just a hall that leads into a larger, well-lit chamber to your immediate left. And as you kind of glance past and look, you see what looks to be a table. On this table, there are all manner of sheets of paper that are stretched out and held, unfurled with different weights at the corners. You can see what looks to be a number of chairs off to the sides. There are candles lit. You see a half-giant figure, the one that beat the shit out of Ashton at the ball. General Ratash.
I start growling.
You start growling? Oh, what is that? No, don't growl. We're friends, it's fine. And he just keeps walking down the hall.
Okay.
Goes to the right, opens another door, and there's somebody in there snoring. Goes, oh, shit. I'm gonna put you in my footlocker. A little bit of food. Just hang tight until my shift is over.
I'm gonna start wiggling, and I'm gonna try to wiggle away from it.
No, all right. I need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check.
Oh, God. It's natural one.
You wiggle and wiggle and wiggle, but he has a firm grip on you, and he's like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." Goes in.
I'm gonna bite him.
You bite and you sink, and he's like, ow, son of a. You're gonna learn manners.
I'm gonna try to spread my legs and arms so he doesn't put me in the box.
He opens the footlocker and is like, "No, you gotta. Stop it! No, you're not supposed." And the other person begins to like rouse in the bed and goes like, "What is that sound?" Nothing. Go back to sleep. Kind of like sits there and pauses. He goes, "You know we're not supposed to have pets." Closes the footlocker and stands up. "Fuck you too." Slams the door on the guy who's napping. He has to walk back through the hallway, kind of holding it out in front. "Found a rodent. Open the gate." It opens up ever so slightly, like about a foot wide, foot and a half wide, before they stop, and it just takes you, and you roll with it. And as your furry body hits, you don't impact with any rocks. You don't end up like twisting the wrong way and actually hurting yourself. You just roll with it and getting dusty and stop, kind of coughing.
I turn around real quick, and before the doors close, I just smile at him.
Shouldn't have bit me, asshole. And he steps back as the gates.
Over here. I run over, I skitter over there and try to find a spot to go back to me.
Easily enough to do. You find a little pocket of shade off the side of the building, and then we come back to your normal form.
I message Dusk. Fearne is in the front. As feet. We have Fearne.
She's in the front. She's in the front.
Laudna told you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
as we're walking towards the front, hey, are you and Laudna thing?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you and Laudna thing?
A thing? Like, what do you mean?
Like, romantically entangled.
No?
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Good. Because I was, kind of getting some vibes and everything, and I,
Yeah. I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good talk.
So, Laudna. I was wondering. Imogen, you somewhere. But thank you.
Are you? Wait, what? What? What?
Well,
What?
potholder? Really?
I should have gotten her the T-shirt, okay, and fresh cut grass.
No, you.
Get me out of it.
It's not potholders or T-shirts. You must have done something pretty fucked up if you are in like potholder territory, right?
I did something.
Okay, it's okay. No, it's fine. Come on.
I don't want it.
Here, just have a little. Just come on. Just.
I don't want it.
Don't you?
It just collapsed in ash.
Okay.
The worst.
She's mad at me.
Clearly.
It's gonna be fine.
Because I'm a terrible friend.
No, you're not a terrible friend. Come
I
on.
am,
Nope.
though.
Nope. You're not a terrible friend. What do you cry, by the way? What is this shit?
Sometimes it comes out as a little black and geek.
It's cool.
Scary.
No, I like it. It's cool. It's just I want to make sure it's not going to stain.
I make no promises.
Okay. Do you want some friendly advice from someone who has literally pissed off everyone they've ever met?
Okay.
Okay, I don't need to know what happened. It's not for me to know. It's your business.
I broke her rock.
Oh God, it was one of the shiny rocks, wasn't it?
She loved it so much.
Okay.
And I killed it.
Was it an accident?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she know it was an accident?
I don't think so.
Maybe you should focus on an apology that's related to the offense.
Like thematically?
More than thematically, like an understanding of the offense, if that makes sense. An apology that actually speaks to what happened.
Are they coming back over here, by the
I
way?
think they're almost here. I can see them coming.
You catch up with the rest of
Hi. Okay. Oh, totally fine. So I figured out sort of the layout a little bit, which I can draw out. I don't know if it worked like a charm, because I don't know if I necessarily figured anything out. But I did see a big room. There were 3 guys in there. One of them was the one that Ashton fully beat up.
I mean, it was
and
close. I'll give him that.
It was very close.
So normally with like a fortress where it's all, shelled up and everyone's on the inside, you want to reverse that shit and get everyone on the outside.
So start a fire.
A fire, attack the fences, cause an explosion, kill somebody, make them come get you, and then you go.
Steal a crawler machine and slam it into the front gate.
You don't need to attack it. We just need the guy to come out, right?
If he's even in there.
If he's not going to come out if there's a big explosion, but a lot of other people will. Maybe it's the combination of big distraction and a sneaking in while everyone's distracted.
Now you're speaking my language.
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for everyone to. Who can I talk to about Death Wish?
Death Wish. Did that.
They told us. Yeah, they mentioned that there's like a
Thunderdome
competition.
type of shit. Yeah.
It's run by the various crawler gangs. It's kind of how they settle disputes between them, since they don't take it to war unless they want to really take it to a murderous space far outside of town. It's more of their sport.
If we don't want it to just be us trying to, assault a fortress, we could, staff up a little bit.
We could do something to where we go to the pawn shop, the River of Renewal, and have them, maybe we can compel them, to send a message to Treshi saying, I'm about to sell your ring, but I know you were very attached to it. Would you like to buy it before that?
We're going to be clever. If we're going to actually do something like this, then we're going to need someone of us to go in and actually buy something, get the name of the owner of the establishment, and a sample of their handwriting in the form of a receipt.
Let's say he does leave. He starts heading towards the ring. We make a move on him. Mm-hmm. We knock him out, keep him alive. Mm-hmm. We're saying we're going to successfully extract a living human being out of this city with a bunch of crawler gangs and Paragon's call. Just the 8 of us?
Once we get him in the black hole, we've got 10 minutes to figure out what the hell we want to do with them after that.
Literally, we wouldn't even have to fight him. All we would have to do is push him into the hole, grab the hole, run, find a quiet place to pull him out, tie him up, gag him, and then figure out a way to get him back out of the city.
You trek back to the Bank of Renewal, back to the River of Renewal. What are you looking for?
I'm just gonna walk on in to the River of Renewal.
Hello. Hi, can I help you?
I'm looking for a present.
Of course. What sort of present can I find for you?
Something that looks fabulous but doesn't cost too much money.
Looks over to his associate, kind of gives a nod and pulls a small satchel out and begins pulling out these, would be considered costume jewelry, but not quite as poor. They are presentary, but, affordable for those of us on a squeezed copper.
How about that little one with the ruby?
Oh, this one? This is be 65 gold pieces.
All right, yeah, I'll get that one.
All right.
I'll get that one.
Wraps it up.
Could I get a receipt?
No,
please?
certainly. Oh, yes.
And what's your name, sir?
Oh, Adon Hero.
Adon Hero. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. What is your name?
Adon Hero.
Jenny.
Jenny. Pleasure.
Jenny from the
Finishes writing out the receipt, folds it
Jenny
up,
from the block. No.
takes it and tucks it into the case with the ring, and passes it over to you.
Jenny. Thank you.
Of course. Feel free to come by should you require anything else.
Thank you very much. Adam. All right, I head back.
Okay, you return with the rest of the group.
What do you need for forging a letter and signature and stuff like that?
Just something that can look like this handwriting is all.
There are forgery kits, technically.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be proficient to get the benefit on that.
Right.
Like 3 people could do it, and we could choose the
Let's
best
see
one.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Let's all.
And the rest of us judge.
Let's go back. Maybe we should just go back to our rooms and sit down and have a forgery contest.
Hotel forgery contest. Who are our competitors?
It's Dusk and Imogen and anyone else?
I have nimble fingers.
I'll go for it just because, fuck it.
So, for the attempts at this forgery, you have the option to either roll performance or roll a straight dexterity check. Those are your options.
Somebody better roll well. I love this line. Skill. Is it good? It's bad.
13.
Okay, we got 13.
10.
All right.
7.
Oh,
7.
6.
Oh,
All right. So Dusk definitely. Oh yeah, what'd you get?
2, 23.
23. There we go.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this diplomat over here.
so there's a series of dick butts, and then
Calligraphy.
Honestly, I was going to say, like in part of your earlier training with the Arashari, there was definitely classes in calligraphy and some of the ancient writings of the Ashari tribe, specifically of like symbology and the various elements and the usage of their symbols, both in magic as well as just iconography used both on body art and signifying temples and such. And there's something specifically meditative about that process that when you begin to get into it, it comes naturally to you, and you surprise yourself with the quality they're able to produce.
Well, Derek taught me to write on the air.
You have a proper deliverable note you'd feel confident sending that direction.
It's as good as it's gonna get, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Excellent work.
So, probably want to hire a runner.
I feel like we could have Dusk do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do that.
tomorrow morning.
As you all post up in your individual or gathered group chambers for the night, a sense of comfort mingles with a rising anxiousness of the days ahead for a multitude of reasons. The draw of what may or may not reside within that fortress to reveal the quarry that you have come here to gather, the truths being revealed and unique tethers that unexpectedly attach some backgrounds and pasts as one. A slight itchiness comes to your head through the night as you feel your hair beginning to return to you. And a wary bit of rest comes to you as the occasional night predatory bird's caw keeps you staring out into the open sky.
I almost forgot about shithead.
But nevertheless, taking watches, taking care, and preparing yourselves for the following day and days ahead, you plot. And at dawn, you plan.
No.
And we'll end this episode there. We'll pick up next time